October Red is sponsored by SA Security. Maximum security, minimum fuss.
Catching up in Acots Green Boxing Gym with Lucy Kings-Wheatley. I don't know if I told you about Lucy before, but Lucy, when she eventually turns pro, because I've been trying to tell her to turn pro for a little bit now, is going to be a problem. Aren't you, Lucy?
I like to think so, yeah.
I think so. What have you been up to since the last time I spoke to you? Because I think it was auditions for like GB. You hadn't yet got through, yeah. So
Trying to think how old I was then. I might have been 20 or 19 last time we spoke.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it's mad. Had a bit of an injury, didn't I? With the wrist. Had some time out. It was a bit shit, but it was a good learning phase for me. Just back really. Just got back this year, pretty much, and had a good few tournaments. Went to the World Championships. It was a bit unfortunate. Lost out in the top 16, I think it was. But again, more experience, you know. I think this is where I want to make the mistakes.
Yep.
I didn't feel I was quite ready back then to turn pro. Not too sure how ready I am yet, but I'd like to make all my mistakes here. So when it does come to that point, when I'm ready to turn over, I'm not going to make any mistakes. It's going to be perfection, hopefully. And you come across everything in the amateurs, I feel. And I think once I've seen everything there and done what I can there, got a major medal somewhere, I think that's when it will come calling. And I think I'll know.
Would you say that you like staying in the amateurs for experience? Is that like the... I mean, fair enough, there's medals and there's accolades that come with being an amateur, but is like the main reason why you're there is because you want to get that like elite experience with world-class fighters. So when you turn professional, you've kind of seen the styles, or you're a bit more comfortable because you know what you can come up against when you move to the elite levels in professional boxing.
I feel like there's just so many different styles from all the countries as an amateur. You know, at the international level, at the top level, you're going up against like Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Thailand, you know, every country you can think of, all the European countries. And I just think they're all so unique in their styles. I think when it comes to them turning over, you've seen all of that now. And obviously, it is a bit of a different sport, the pros, but boxing's boxing at the end of the day. And I think if I see everything in the amateurs, apart from making some small adjustments, moving over into the pros, there's going to be like a big level difference, you know what I mean? And once I've seen the tall people, the small people, the boxers, the fighters, you know, what's going to be new in the pros, then I'm going to have seen everything. And that's what's going to prepare me for when that time does come, yeah.
How have you found it on GB? Because, like, you know, they say like it's a privilege to be able to box at that level. You know, you've got like a little salary coming in from it as well, and you're getting to travel the world. Do you think that's important? Because your end goal, it just seems like to me your end goal is to be professional. Maybe you didn't know exactly what you wanted to do before, but it's like, yeah, I want to be a professional boxer. Do you think this is going to serve you well? I mean, I'm saying this, look at White Collar Wardley.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody, is it?
Yeah, definitely. I just think it's whatever's been like written for me, to be honest. I think for now this is what's been written, and I think although I had a bit of a rubbish time being injured, the experience you do get from international training camps and tournaments, that's where the experience really comes in. And I think that side of it's going to serve me well, you know, as long as I stay injury free, look after myself properly, train where necessary, rest where necessary, because it's really important while you're up there. I think the experience I'm going to get here is going to be just really valuable for when I do turn over.
When you look at the pro game now, I mean, I think that female boxing again is changing again. Like, there was a buzz around it, there was a hype around it. I mean, you mentioned it earlier when Matchroom came in the gym. I think it was Solomon's last fight with them, and Matchroom were here, and you were speaking to Eddie, and it's like, you know, I remember like even their like amateur leg was saying, yeah, Lucy Kings-Wheatley. It was a name that was being sung about, but obviously you took another route. But when you look at the change that you've seen in females in boxing, not female boxing, boxing's boxing, but females in boxing, what do you see now as a pro to what you saw back then?
I think the level just keeps getting higher, to be honest with you. And
Oh, okay.
I think it's good to see. And you know, we've got all like the greats, you know, there's Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron, there's Sandy Ryan coming, there's Michaela Mayer, Clarissa Shields, but then there's younger people coming in. Obviously there's a few from other countries as well, but I think the young ones coming through who have decided to take the route turning professional, I think they're changing it up a little bit as well. And you know, it's proper obvious, even as an amateur, like the older lot, they're all like really good, but then you see like the youths and the juniors, there's like something special about them. And I think every year the level just keeps creeping, and it's almost scary, because I look at some of the juniors now in the amateurs, and it's like I wasn't that good at that age.
Okay.
So I think that's where the levels just...
That's interesting that you say that, and obviously that's something that I'm not going to see. We can talk about TMA 8, and I know you're not the same weight, but you know, you've come from a similar background. I've always said, you know, like I said, the weights with females, you can move around the weights, it's easier.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you turn pro on one of these that looks 10 miles down the road, I don't just look at what's in front of me, and I think that would make a really good fight to see them two together. There's that kickboxing background as well. Obviously, you've come from that yourself, switched over to boxing. And she is really good, and she's touted to be a star. She's got the right attitude. She's stopping her opponents. You know, it doesn't matter who the opponents are. One of the opponents that she did fight, I think, upset a debutant on another card.
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
So it's like she's doing bits, and
She's doing good.
her doing that is then shining the light on for people like yourself that's going to join later, right?
Yeah. She's doing bits, man. I can't even lie. She's just one of them. For me, looking at it, it's like she's chose a different path to me. So obviously she's a little bit younger than me. I think maybe she may have got offered like the assessment route down GB. Obviously it wasn't for her, and she's taken that route, and look what it's done for her. And just see the different paths. To me, I thought it really important, knowing my own character, and how important it was for me to learn before I stepped into professional ranks. I knew I'd make mistakes, because I'm only human, and I know I'm not the best yet. So for me, it felt like, let me make these mistakes, let me learn from them here, so then when I do transition, I know what to do. If I make little mistakes, and my head will still be on my shoulders, I won't be getting arrogant, or I won't lose my head if something goes wrong. I'll know how to deal with it, and I think that was really important for me to take that route. Whereas for Tia, that might have been the perfect setup for her. You know, she's got great people around her, good family, and not to say I haven't got a good family, of course.
No, I know what you mean. It's interesting that you put it like that, though, because it's like, so you're valuing experience. You see the amateurs, that's your apprenticeship.
Yeah.
That's where you're kind of learning on the job. So then you can bring all of that. See, the light's gone. The next one to go is going to be the the battery in the camera.
Yeah.
But you're seeing that as like your apprenticeship.
Yeah.
Because you
definitely.
want to get as much experience as you can before you do turn over pro.
Yeah.
And it's not everybody that sees it like that. Like Leo Atang, he's another young one as well. Things could have happened with him in the amateurs, but he's just like, nah, I'm just gonna go pro. I spoke to Frank Warren. You talk about promoters that could potentially end up picking you up, and he likes his fighters to be young and fresh, and he wants them to do their apprenticeship as professionals, so he can mold them the way he wants. He thinks sometimes, he didn't directly say this, but what you can get from that is sometimes you can spend too long as an amateur, and it takes away potentially some of your prime years as a professional. What do you think of that?
I think, it's definitely true in some ways. I think the way that he sees it is maybe like, as an amateur, you don't, like internationally, you don't get to pick your fights. It's like, I'm 20 something bouts now, and then there could be someone on 100, or I could be on my first bout, and I could come up against Olympic silver medalist, Olympic gold medalist, and you look at it and you sort of weigh it up like, how is that fair?
Professional.
But as a professional, you're built up, you know, you have them lower level opponents first, and you work your way up to build your confidence. So I can see both sides, in the sense of you know, as an amateur internationally, you're just thrown straight in there in the deep end, and sink or swim really. Whereas
Do you like that? Do you like that kind of sink or swim thing? Is that like a buzz for you?
I think it is, yeah, definitely. Like, I've had a few fights where it's like I've had to really dig in against someone who, on paper, I should never be winning against, and
Interesting.
I think that sets a bit of a fire in my belly a little bit, which is good. But in the same respect, then can take away a lot of people's confidence. You know, if you just keep coming up against Olympic champions and you can lose 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. People lose like 10 on the trot, and it's really like demoralising and takes your confidence away. So in that sense, it's hard as well. See both sides.
How long do you think you're going to wait then before you decide to turn pro? Because the last time I spoke to you was 2 years ago. You hadn't got onto GB yet. Now you're on there. You're doing things. You're doing bits in there. You're getting medals. You're getting the accolades. How long is it going to be until you turn pro?
It's a mad question, really, because I'm not really going to put
A time limit on
a
it?
time on it, just because I'm not too sure yet. Obviously, just got back from injury this year, really. Done a few tournaments. Next year, just want to feel everything out, see how I'm getting on. And I think with GB, it's, you know, there's part of it, and it's a great setup. And things just change like that up there. Anything could happen. I could pick up another injury. Something could happen at home. I might not be in the position I want to be, but I also could be in the position I want to be. I might not be injured. So I think if I just take it one tournament at a time, or one major tournament at a time, see where I'm at each tournament. If I'm not feeling it, there's no reason why I can't leave and step out. But at the minute, that's where my head is. So
You're quite strategic, and it's good that you got quite a strong will. You're going to need that when you get in the pros, because it's like a pit of snakes.
yeah,
And I'm not talking about the opponents. So it's good that you've got that kind of mindset already going into it. You're quite strategic. It's like you know what you want to do. And you're going to need that. You're going to need that business head when you get into the pro game. I need to stop pressuring you about it. I know every time I see him, like, when you're going to turn pro, when you're going to turn pro. But do you feel like you've achieved where you are now, 22-year-old, yeah? How you started out, do you feel like you've achieved good things where you are? No one's never where they want to be. But are you happy with what you've done so far?
aside from the injury, obviously, yeah, I'm happy with it. You know, I only got on GB after 2 fights, so
Oh, well done.
that's why the experience was so important for me. I hadn't had any boxing fights, I think. I just needed to build something, and we've built a small foundation now. It's just about, you know, building that up a bit before we then put the icing on the cake and sort of get things moving.
And what are you going to bring to the pro division when you finally do decide to come over?
Ooh.
What are you going to bring that's different to the other females in the industry? What's going to make you stand out?
See, I'm not sure yet. That's why it's not the time yet, because I haven't 100% thought that through. I just want to bring, like, I feel like female boxing, it's like, there's a set style there, I feel like. A lot of them are fighters, like really good fighters. I want to bring something a little bit more flary into it, I think. But again, I go back to how important me and the amateurs is. All my basics, they aren't 100% in place yet. I want them to be like spotless before I make that transition, and I think then I can add the flair, add the style that people don't usually see in women's boxing, more so a lot in men's. But then when I need to go back to the basics and I need to fight, I've got it in my back pocket, and yeah, I just want to bring, you know, be humble, but at the same time bring confidence and just bring a bit of flair to the female game. I think it's lacking that, if anything. We've got great fighters and boxers. I just think it lacks that little bit of sparkle, a little bit of, do you know what I mean? A little bit of flair to it.
You know what? That sounds like a well-rounded fighter. I'm looking forward to the day when you literally hang up the amateur gloves and it's time to get those small ounces on. I'll be there cheering you on. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Lucy Kings-Wheatley. Keep an eye on this one. I'm saying this now, and I'm saying it because she's a Brummie. But I'm saying it because I believe in her, because I've seen how she fights. Go and look at her fights. They are on YouTube. You can see the contests that she's had so far, and have a look at her style. She's quick. You have got that flair as well. But don't take my word for it. Have a look for her on YouTube. I'm Abs of October Red. This is Lucy Kings-Wheatley. We are proudly sponsored by SA UK, Maximum Security, Minimum Fuss. Cheers, Lucy.
Thanks for having me.
October Red is sponsored by SA Security, Maximum Security, Minimum Fuss.